Still waiting. There we are. It's time for some fantasy football. D Nasty's back, Dave. Watching this Monday night football game, freaking awful for fantasy. Awful, my friend. 0-0. It's the third quarter, 9 minutes left. This ain't cool. I need some points out of these guys.
No, just brutal to watch too, man. Joe Buck and Aikman are like, this is a great defensive battle to watch. I'm like, no, it's not. I want to see some touchdowns and some scoring. I don't want to see defensive battle.
No
Sorry,
doubt.
Joe Buck.
Oh, I can't stand those guys. And I need 15 more. I need 15 more points from Saquon and Goddard. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get it the way this game's going. They just finally kicked the field goal and missed it. Well, they made it. But geez, man, 3-0. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a horrible game.
Horrible for fantasy. And here we are. It is fantasy football week 11 now. Here we are.
Week 11, yes.
Flying through. And Dave, why don't you start with our bye weeks?
All right, yeah. Final push for those playoff spots. The next couple weeks here are going to be key. Only 2 buys this week, so it's a light week for buys, actually. Only 2 buys are the Colts, actually. For the Colts, you're going to want to get Daniel Jones. Danny Dimes has actually been playing really well this year. Tyler Warren, Alex Pierce, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs. Quite a few guys. Jonathan Taylor, probably the MVP right now after that game this last week. He's a beast. He's finally back healthy and playing well, man. That line is looking good against the Colts.
Best back in football, clearly.
He's great. So, yep, unfortunately, you're not going to have all of them this week. The Saints, Tyler Shogue, who actually looked pretty good the last couple games, especially this game, he actually looked really good. Showed some promise, actually, but you're going to bench him. Alvin Kamara actually had a decent game this week. You're going to get him out on your bench. Chris Olave, who looked good with the rookie quarterback. And then Juwan Johnson. Other than that, there's not many people that are probably very fantasy relevant for the Saints. But, yeah, definitely the Colts team is actually – there's a lot of fantasy guys on that team that you have to go to your lineup this week. So that's going to hurt some people this week.
Speaking of hurt, let's get into key injuries. Zay Jones had an Achilles injury for the Cardinals, and he's questionable for sure, if not worse. Looks like Dalton Kincaid. I saw him go out with that hammy. He was holding it pretty bad. I'm guessing he could miss a week. That's probably going to happen. Those Bills just looking awfully sus lately. Tight end Orlando Gadsden went out, and he was a balling for a while, but just went out against the Steelers. Not that the Steelers did anything for fantasy last night either. These night games have been brutal.
Horrible.
Devontae Adams went out for the Rams with an oblique injury. We'll see what happens with him. Maybe you know more. Jackson Dart can cost. He'll miss a week at least. They're not going to throw him and rush him back in. He's a franchise quarterback now. Chris Rodriguez, running back, went out with a shoulder injury for Washington. I'm sure they really don't care anymore. Geno Smith went out with a quad injury against the Broncos. He could play. Running back Ramondre Stevenson missed against the Bucs with a kind of a late scratch type thing with a toe injury. I really thought he was going to play, and he didn't.
So, yeah, a couple other ones too. Bam Knight, ankle injury for the Cardinals. And then the Rhonda Gatson injury was a knee injury. They said it shouldn't be major. They said it's probably pretty minor. So he's probably week to week right now. So he could actually possibly play this week. So keep an eye on that. Like you said, Dart, that's too bad. Giants have the worst luck. Darius Slayton, Slayton was ruled out of that game too. So he left actually with an injury as well. Garrett Wilson re-injured his knee. So he's probably week to week right now too. I wouldn't count on this week probably though. He only had 3 targets and then he re-injured that knee again. So which is too bad. I had him in quite a few leagues and he was playing really well before the injury. So Brock Purdy, some good injury news. He is going to start this week, they're saying. So they're expecting him to start this week, which is great news. And then Joe Burrow actually started practicing this week. So he opened the 21-day window on him. So another good, some more good news on the injury front as well. And then Kyler Murray actually went on the IR, so he's out for the next 4 weeks. We'll talk about who to pick up from him, even though we did talk about Brissett last week as well. But just want to let you know that for the next 4 weeks, you can count on Brissett starting for the Cardinals.
Right. It's funny. Garrett Wilson, I forgot about that one. Thanks for mentioning that. Kyler Murray, a really weird movement to IR. I just feel like if he was playing better, he'd still be out there. It's the way everyone feels out. Brissett played kind of a sus game, not so great, but a little bit better towards the end. They lost that game in the first quarter against the Seahawks got absolutely smoked. So,
they start off pretty bad too. Lawrence had the 2 fumble return TDs, so that got him in a hole early. So couldn't really recover from that. But for fantasy purposes, actually, Brissett still had a pretty good day. Over 250 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. So he still put up 20 plus points in most leagues for you. So I have him in some of my dynasty leagues, actually.
Some of that garbage time helped too. So that's how he was able to score. Why don't you go into the waiver wire?
All right. Well, the guy we're just talking about, Jacoby Brissett. I like him this week, actually. Tua actually had a good game this past week. So if he's still out there, I like him as well. JJ McCarthy actually has a nice matchup this week against Chicago of all teams. But I like that matchup. So if he's still out there, Davis Mills, we talked about last week as well. I'm not going to go too much into them. Russell Wilson, actually, for the Dart injury. If by chance Dart is not able to play this week, but definitely want to scoop up Russell Wilson. Shadir Sanders actually speculative ad. Gabriel hasn't done much over the last couple of weeks. He's been solid, if not unspectacular, though. So rumblings are that Shadir is going to get his chance sooner or later, though. So just a speculative ad if you have a bench spot. I definitely like him. Then I like DeMarcado for the Cardinals for the Bam Knight injury. He could start this week.
DeMarcado was better anyway.
Yeah, I think he is actually as well. Oh, and then another injury we forgot too. J.K. Dobbins left with a foot injury too from last Thursday, so forgot to mention that one as well. So R.J. Harvey for him if he's not able to play, and then a couple other ones too. Woody Marks, he's actually taken over that backfield now. Nick Chubb had a season low 10 snaps this week, so if by chance someone did drop Marks, or if he's still available in any of your leagues, scoop him up. He's going to be probably the starter going forward. I was really high on him a couple weeks ago, and then he kind of faded, but then he had a good week this past week again. So definitely, if he's out there, scoop him up right away. Sean Tucker, actually, he outsnapped and outplayed Rashad White this past week, and he's probably going to be he had over the last 2 games 21 carries for 95 yards compared to 23 carries for 73 yards for White. So I think he's kind of taking over that backfield while Irving's out. So keep an eye on that if Irving's back or not this week. Hopefully he is back. Tracy actually led the backfield for the Giants this past week. He outsnapped Singletary and out-carried him yards-wise and carries. So he kind of jumped back into the league like I thought last week. So keep an eye on him. Algier had 2 TDs this week, but he's just a high-end handcuff. So other than that, though. And then Jacoby Myers actually had a good game with his new team. And then Parker Washington actually looked really good this past week. With the Brian Thomas injury, he didn't play again this week either with the ankle injury. Jerry Jeudy actually had a nice game. He actually had a touchdown from Gabriel this week. And Jaden Higgins has actually looked pretty good for the Houston Texans as well.
All right, Jaden Higgins. Matt Collins went off last week too, and I did mention it.
Oh, Jalen Naylor too. Forgot about Jalen Naylor actually.
Jalen Naylor, I have him for the Vikings on my waiver wire, so thanks for bringing that up. Tez Johnson did really well for the Buccaneers. Jerry Jetty, like you said, 12 targets. Jordan Whittingham for the Devontae Adams injury should be a pickup. Dawson Knox for the Dalton Kincaid hammy injury is big. Jeremy McNichols for the Chris Rodriguez injury. He'll get some good cleanup duty behind Ja'Cory. I agree with Shedeur Sanders. Aiden O'Connell for the Geno Smith injury because Geno might, I don't know, he's playing, he's not playing well. Maybe Aiden plays more. And Geno could miss this week, and Aiden's been back practicing for the last couple of weeks anyway, so he's ready to come off IR.
Yeah, I like Aiden O'Connell pickup too. That's speculative ad for him too. I like that one.
Absolutely. And if you're really desperate, I guess Russell Wilson's a man. It's not going to be pretty.
He did not look good.
No,
I used to like Russell Wilson. He's a Badger, so I got love for him, but
he's too slow now. And the only reason the Giants were moving the balls because Jack Stark was running. That's the only reason. And that's why he got beat up and concussed too. It was bound to happen.
He took a hard fall on one of the tackles and he hit his head on the turf.
I know it is, and then they fired Tony Dayball today. Or Brian Dayball, I should say, and that was a must fire in my opinion. It was weird. It's like, why didn't you fire him a long time ago? But the fact is, the more I thought, at first I was like, they're kind of like doing better now, and you're firing the coach. But then I kind of realized, dude, all you're doing is just throwing your quarterback into like injury situations the last 3 weeks. That's all he's been doing. Since Jackson Dart's really been starting actually. So. Sleepers, non-starters training up for week 11. Wide receiver Matt Collins should crush the Jets. So I put that down. because that's what the Patriots are playing. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa against the Commies. I like that one this week. And Malik Washington, too, to go with Tua as a receiver. Quarterback J.J. McCarthy against the Bears D might slap. I think that the Bears D is really suspect against the pass, and you saw some of that last week and the weeks before. Quarterback wide receiver Jalen Naylor against the Bears, too. Tight end Dawson Knox against the Bucks. That's a solid pickup and move this week. Running back Amari DiMarcado against the 49ers. It's a really banged up Niners defense. There's no Warren in the middle. You know, it's just, they're done, man. You saw the Rams just chop them to pieces last week.
Yeah.
It was bad. It's ugly. Wide receiver Michael Wilson has become a big pass catcher for Brissett in AZ land. So I do like Michael Wilson a little bit as well. George Pickens against the Raiders. So I would start maybe George Pickens if he's an option for you. Jordan Love against the Giants. I do like Jordan Love this week against the Giants. And I also like Aaron Rodgers against the Bengals. Some. Not a lot, but some. So, you know, and I'll be watching it as soon as Burrow comes back, that whole Bengals offense gets way better. So remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you
upgrade? Yeah, all those guys you upgrade for the Bengals as soon as Burrow comes back. Who knows? It might be a couple weeks though, still, because he just started practicing, but he could be back next week, possibly. So
I mean, I was going to play the Ravens in Survivor before I went out on Thanksgiving, but now I'm like, man, what
if Burrow's back? Yeah. Uh-oh, a little technical difficulty here.
Get into buffs a little bit. So, Dave, there you are. Buffs now. Well, actually, why don't you go, since the internet's back, go ahead and give me your sleepers.
Okay, sounds good. I had a lot of the same ones that you did. I like like you said, I like Matt Collins this week. I like Trevion Henderson too. He's been looking good. He had 2 TDs this past week. I like him against that poor Jets defense. I like the Dolphins this week. They've been playing better and better, actually. I like Tua this week. I like the Malik Washington, like you said. Waddle's been going off now too. He's actually been playing really well. I like that matchup for them. I like Bryce Young actually this week. The Falcons have a pretty good D, but they just find ways to lose the games these last couple weeks. So, but I think Bryce Young actually plays better this week. He was my DNS to sleep when he kind of tanked on me this past week, but I'm still going with him again this week. I like him as a guy trending up this week. I think they could play better this week. I do like the Dawson Knox. I think he has a good game actually for the Bills, especially if Kincaid is out. I like that matchup. I like Kamon Vidal too against the Jaguars. I like that pick too as well. And then I like J.J. McCarthy, like I was saying before, against the Bears. Their pass D is kind of suspect. Going all in on the Packers this week against the Giants. Giants pass D is not good at all. They have a nice pass rush, but their pass D is not good, and their secondary is not good at all. So yeah, definitely Jordan Love, Dobbs. Wicks is back, and hopefully he'll first game back tonight, but hopefully he'll keep trending up the next couple weeks here. I like Jaden Higgins actually for the Texans. He's been actually looking better and better. He's kind of like almost their number 2 there now. Nico Collins finally had a little bounce back game too. Actually, he looked pretty good this past week. Let's see how much. Yeah, I do like the Ravens this week against the Browns. Browns are. I like Zay Flowers actually. I think he's going to trend. He's been trending up the last couple weeks. He's been playing better and better with Lamar back, so I like him. And then I like that Cowboys matchup too. Like you said, I like Pickens and Flournoy. Actually had a touchdown before the bye. Actually, he's been kind of trending up as well.
Yeah, I agree. Why don't you move into bus?
All right, bus. I'm going to say the Lions versus the Eagles. I don't like Jared Goff against the Eagles. You can see the defense is balling out against the Packers tonight, and the Packers have a middle of the tier offense, but the Eagles defense has definitely stepped up tonight. So I don't like that matchup for Goff next week. I'm still starting Gibbs, probably borderline on Montgomery. But yeah, Gibbs is a must start still, but Goff, I don't like him this week. Broncos D, one of the top 3 Ds probably in the league. I don't like the Chiefs against them. I don't like the running game, especially against the Broncos. Pachinko or Hunt, I don't like them. Mahomes is still going to get his, but the running game, I'm going to downgrade them. Even Kelsey kind of probably downgrade him a little bit too, because that Broncos D is good and they have good linebackers. I don't like the Seahawks versus the Rams. Both of those guys will probably be a lower scoring game. So I don't like that matchup. The Rams defense is playing well. Actually, the Seahawks defense has been playing really well too, but Stafford's been on fire though, so I can't really downgrade him at all. But I don't like that matchup as well. I don't like Titans. Any of the Titans, you're probably not starting any of them up right now, anyways. But the Texans defense, probably top 5D. Don't like the Titans matchup. Don't like Cam Ward or any of those guys there. Even DK, I don't even like him this week. I like the Steelers against the Bengals. So, but I don't like that matchup for the Bengals against the Steelers, though. They've been scoring quite a bit, but the Steelers have been playing better on defense lately. So I'm downgrading Flacco for that one. And then, yeah, that's all I got. And I actually don't like any of the Jets against the Patriots. Patriots have been balling lately, man. They look like one of the top 3 teams in the AFC. So definitely don't like any Jets this week.
I don't know if I downgrade Flacco against the Steelers. He chopped them up last game, and maybe they're coming off the bye, man. So,
they're coming off the bye, and they're playing better, though. I don't know. The Steelers have been playing better, but
if Watt gets to them, and that's different.
Yeah.
But people said the same thing last night because the Chargers lost all those offensive linemen. It still didn't matter. You know, they were able to score enough points. It was mostly a defensive win, though, for the Chargers. Bus, Kyron Williams, I hate to say it, he's my running back in a lot of leagues, but against the Seahawks, it's just a bad matchup for him. But you might have to play him, I understand, but if there's better options, use him. Quarterback Sam Darnold against the Rams is also kind of rough. I think that Sam Darnold destroys the bad teams and then steps up in competition and chokes. Bryce Young against the Falcons. I don't even know what to think about Bryce Young. Falcons still have a good team. They're a terrible coach, but if their talent shows up, they're going to mess some stuff up, and they're pissed after that loss in Germany.
They should have won that game.
They should have won that game, absolutely. J.K. Dobbins against the Chiefs, don't like that so much either. Even if he's hurt, then we have to look at Harvey as a kind of a bust too. Roma Dunze against the Vikings. I'm not really loving Roma Dunze or Caleb Williams against the Vikings this week. I think Vikings are in a big get back up spot too. Running back David Montgomery against the Eagles is kind of suspect, so I don't like David Montgomery. And I don't like Kareem Hunt against the Broncos either. I think that's kind of a bad matchup too. And I'm not even sure if Pacheco's back or not, Dave, but I'm pretty sure that Kareem.
Yeah, even that's why I said both. I didn't know which one was going to play, so that's why I said both actually. So yeah, Pacheco's questionable actually for this week for sure.
That brings up our nasty sleeper, Dave. I'll go first since you already said it in yours. Travion Henderson is my nasty sleeper this week, and he's going to eat against the Jets, and they're not going to rush Ramondre Stevenson back. Even if Stevenson does come his way, Travion Henderson is going to get the bell cow share of the carries this week, being that he's not injured and he had such a great game last week, Dave.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going saying someone from the Patriots as well. I like Matt Collins. He's been playing better and better. He's like their number 1. So like he's actually probably the number 2, but he's almost a borderline number 1 actually. He's the number 2 definitely to Diggs, but yeah, go with Matt Collins. He's my nasty sleeper this week. I like him this week in that matchup against the Jets.
I like him too. He was in my non-starter trending up as well, so I love Matt Collins' matchup this week, especially with Boutte being so injured and not playing right now. So Matt Collins, return to the Mac, baby. Let's go, Dave. Anything we missed? All right. Let's go. Fantasy football, my friends. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please rate, review, and subscribe. Have a great rest of your week, and go get some winners.